Bounce. An expert in women's health is devoting her life and work to educating the world about infant mortality and sexual health. Tonight I want to welcome Valda Ford, the CEO of Center of Human Diversity, that is, and founder of Sex is Not for Sissies. Thanks for being here tonight. We certainly appreciate it. Talk about some of the alarming statistics for, first of all, infant immortality. You don't hear much about this.
Infant mortality is one of those things where you don't see a lot of babies dying, but the numbers are large. There are over 35,000 babies dying in the U.S. every year.
What's the main problem that you see with this?
The number one problem is congenital abnormalities. It can be low birth weight, premature. So if they're born before 37 weeks, so we really encourage doctors not to have those C-sections early just to make it convenient for themselves or the mothers.
When you're having a baby, when you're having a child, do they get the proper information sometimes from the doctors? Everybody, I would imagine, differs if you have a different physician or whatever, a different doctor. But is the information out there and readily obtainable?
Yep, the information is there. It's very easy to find. The most important thing is that you just go to the doctor early. Mm-hmm. Number one, if possible, plan to be pregnant so that your body's in the best possible shape. You're not smoking, you're not drinking, you're not planning to stop when you get pregnant.
Right.
Number two is make sure that you go often. So there's a big difference in some women go to the doctor 5 times while they're pregnant, others 9 or 10 times while they're pregnant. So the more often you go, the more likely they are to catch any problems that you would know ahead of time so it could be treated before the baby is born.
All right. Now, what is the Baby Box Company?
The Baby Box Company is really good. Here in the U.S., we're doing things like having the doctor talk to us, and a lot of times we're going by the mothers. But in Finland, in the 1930s, they had really terrible infant mortality statistics. You can see there that they had upwards of 90 deaths per 1,000. That's 1 out of every 11 babies was dying.
Wow.
And what they did is they talked to the mothers and they told them what to do. Number one, don't ever sleep with your babies. There are about 25% of the deaths that happen with what we call SIDS that sometimes are associated with co-sleeping. The baby sleeps with the mother. The baby either snuggles under the mother or the mother turns over to the child and smothers the child.
Wow.
Could you imagine? There's nothing worse that can happen. So no co-sleeping. You should breastfeed. You should do things like not having your mother tell you to feed that baby some grits early on. You know how
right.
they do?
Yes, exactly.
You don't give that baby something to eat or they're just not going to sleep. So don't do that.
Right.
Don't feed them anything but breast milk until 6 months. Mm-hmm. And most specifically, keep them on their backs to sleep. I used to work as an neonatal intensive care unit, and
right.
those babies have very immature nervous systems. So if they get snuggled up under something like a blanket or bumpers, or they're too hot, or they have a pillow or a toy, and they don't know how to turn their faces away, and again, they can smother. If you have bumpers or if you put them in special little slings, they might get strangled. The most important thing is to understand, one, get pregnant because you mean to. Number two, go to the doctor all the time
right.
and keep your baby on his or her back to sleep. It seems counterintuitive, but they will know if they start to choke, they can take care of it better if they're on their backs than if they're on their stomachs.
Quick question, breastfeeding, is there a possibility of overeating with the kids?
Not likely.
Okay.
Not likely. You can tell if they get too fat, then, take them into the doctor, but most of the time not.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. A whole lot of great information there. If you want some more information about this, you can log on to WBTV.com. Look in the web extra section under the home tab. Some great information. Once again, we certainly appreciate you being here.
It's my pleasure.
All right. You take care now.
Thank you.
That's all the time we have for this segment. We're going to be back with much more right after this on WBTV News on Bounce.